Namaskar, dear student. I welcome you in this virtual class organized by Joint School Family. And today we are continuing the same chapter, that is Unit 16 of Class 9, that is Classification of Living Organism. And today we will study a new topic, that is the general characteristic of the plant that belongs to the division Bryophyta. And the Bryophyta, the term comes from the two words, that is bryon and phyta. The bryon means moss and phyta means plant. So let's study the general characteristic of the plant that belongs to this division. Okay. Now in last class we have studied about the Thallophyta or the algae, with those plants which grows into the water. Completely they are aquatic habitat. Now this plant are more developed and they move toward the land, okay, but not far away from the water resources, or they can grow in the places where there is moist, sandy and humid conditions prevails. Okay, wherever this type of condition is available, moist, sandy and humid, in that condition they can grow. Okay, means they will not grow in that area where there is direct sunlight exposure is there. Okay, and second point is that they are the first group of plants which colonized on the land, and we can say they are the first terrestrial plant. Okay, and they are autotrophic, and their mode of nutrition, since they contain green pigment chlorophyll in them, so they can prepare their food themselves, so they are autotrophic. Okay, and they are called amphibian of plant kingdom. So amphibian means those organisms which can live both on land and in water. In general sense, we call them as the true amphibian. But in the case of plant, they completely inside the water they will not go. They will not grow inside the water completely, but they will remain nearby the water resources. Okay, and they are short in size also, height also, and they may grow up to the size of 2 centimeter to 6 centimeter, and sometime about 60 centimeter also can be found. But generally they are smaller in size, as they do not have vascular tissues present in them, which is responsible for conducting water and nutrients to their body. So about that also we will discuss in another point. And they are called amphibian of the plant that I was discussing. Amphibian of plant, why? Because they can live in a soil which is moist but needs water for reproduction. So what happens in their reproduction? During their reproduction, if they do not have water, they cannot reproduce. For reproduction, water is must. That's why their life cycle completes in water and on land, as it requires water for its fertilization, external fertilization, and they grow in the soil. So that's why they are called amphibian of the plant kingdom. Okay, and next point is that body is more differentiated than that of algae. In algae we have discussed that their body is not differentiated into root, stem and leaves, whereas the organism that belongs to this group may have thallus also, may be posted or erect and attached to the substratum. Substratum means they are fixed in one particular place. It may be the rock or it may be the soil where they are attached, and they may be erect like moss, and they may be unicellular or multicellular, and they are attached to the substratum with the help of root-like structure, not truly roots, but they bear roots-like structure which are called rhizoid, which will attach themselves or fix themselves on the rocks or the soil where they will grow. Okay, and as I have already told, they lack true root, stem or leaves. They are slightly developed, okay, as compared to the algae, but they don't have true roots. They have rhizoids, okay, and truly we cannot say they have root, stem or leaves. And another is that the main part of the plant that we call it, yes, the main part of plant body is haploid. Now haploid means having half the number of chromosome present in the cells, that we will discuss in another classes, and it produces gamete and hence gametophyte. And one of the important characteristics of the plant that belongs to this is that they also show alternation of generation. Means their life cycle completes of two stages: gametophytic stage, where the gametes are formed, haploid gametes are formed, and there is another stage which is called sporophytic stage, where spores are formed, which is the diploid stage. So both the stages occurs in their life cycle one after another. That is called alternation of generation. About that we will discuss in the next class, when we will discuss about the higher classifying plant, like we will study about the next topic about the pteridophyta, where about the fern we will discuss about that. And in the case of this plant, they have the sex organ, and they can reproduce both asexually as well as sexually, and they have sex organ in them, and this organ may be individually present in one individual itself. That's why it is called hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite organism means having both sex organ in one individual itself. Okay, so the plant that belongs to this may have both a male sex organ as well as female sex organ within one individual. That's why they are also known as the hermaphrodite plant. Okay, and what happened in this bryophyte? The sex organ in bryophyte are multicellular, in which male organ is called antheridium. So the male organ present in this plant are known as antheridium, while the female is called as archegonium. Okay, so next topic is that they do not grow very tall. As I have already told, they grow up to the size of in average 2 centimeter to 6 centimeter, because they do not have well developed, or they don't have vascular tissues like xylem and phloem, which are responsible for conducting nutrients. Yes, and they grow in the water. They have to grow in nearby the water sources or moist places. And another characteristic is that they reproduce both sexually as well as asexual method. In asexual method, they can reproduce by method like fragmentation, method like regeneration, and sometimes they may be reproduced by different other method. Okay, and in sexual method, gametophytic stage and sporophytic oogamous. And last time we have studied about the isogamy and isogamy, oogamous type of reproduction. So in the case of the plant which belongs to this, they only reproduce sexually by oogamous method of reproduction. Okay, so example, if we call say are liverworts, moss, mercantia, they are the example of some of the plant that belongs to division Bryophyta. So in this today's chapter or class, we have discussed about the general characteristic of the plant that belongs to bryophyta. Okay, so for today this much. So we will study more about the plant in next class. Thank you very much.